All right, today we're jumping into a really powerful story. It's all about a journey from a super quiet childhood to finding a voice and a place to belong, all thanks to the unexpected power of music in high school.
This quote right here, it just frames the journey we're about to explore so perfectly. It's a reminder that even when things start out rough, something really beautiful, something peaceful can grow from it. It's kind of like a hopeful promise for the story ahead.
So, every story has a starting point. This one kicks off in the pretty chaotic world of high school, a place our narrator got thrown into earlier than most kids, which, as you can imagine, made a tough environment even tougher.
Check this out. This timeline really maps out a huge personal shift. Starting high school early basically put a target on his back, and he got bullied. But you can see this amazing arc of his journey, from being totally isolated to slowly opening up to this incredible point where, by his final year, that very same bully had actually become a friend. I mean, how wild is that? It's a powerful lesson in how people and relationships can totally evolve.
Okay, so a massive part of high school, as you probably know, is just trying to figure out where you fit in, right? This next chapter is all about that search for a tribe and the huge difference between trying to force a connection and finding where you truly belong. So at first, he tried to fit in with the popular kids, the basketball group. Their world was all high energy, all about who's popular, but it just wasn't his rhythm. It didn't feel right. His true circle, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. A smaller group built on these quiet, shared worlds, and a genuine bond with none of that social pressure. And this was their world, a super tight-knit group of 5 friends. Their thing was bonding over computer games, board games, card games, all of it, happening in a friend's brick house, a place he called their fortress. See, it wasn't about being cool or being seen. It was just a safe space for them to have fun and really connect. So, alongside friendship, another key part of the whole high school emotional roller coaster is, of course, crushes. But for a quiet observer like him, this often played out from a distance, filled more with quiet admiration than any kind of real action. Now, to really get the next part of the story, you need to know this one specific word, kilig. It's a Filipino term, and it perfectly describes that heart-fluttering, giddy excitement you feel when you see your crush. It's not just about liking them, it's that whole thrilling feeling itself. He felt that kilig for two different people, a really smart classmate and a friend who lived all the way in Doha. But in both cases, he made a conscious choice to just keep those feelings to himself. Why? Well, he valued the friendships way more than the possibility of romance, which honestly is a surprisingly mature way to handle things as a teenager. All right, so that quiet world of friendship, it was about to get a whole lot louder. This is the real turning point in the story, where those close bonds grew into something creative, noisy, and just powerful. They started an alternative rock band. And here was the lineup. Our narrator, the quiet one, steps up as the vocalist. His friends grab the bass, electric guitar, and drums. And the fifth friend, who didn't play an instrument, he just enthusiastically appointed himself their manager. You can just feel that raw, spontaneous, let's just do this energy of good friends creating something cool together. They didn't practice in a garage or anything. Instead, they rented a music studio every single Friday. And this space, it became their sanctuary, their secret world. You could almost picture it, right? The smell of dust and old amps, the dim lights. It was a place where they could be loud, imperfect, and totally themselves, just creating a sound that was all their own. And now we've reached the climax, the peak of the story. All that quiet observation, all those unspoken feelings are about to find their release. This is the moment the quiet boy discovers the real power of his own voice. So, their sound was pure alternative rock inspired by awesome bands at the time like Sponge Cola and Hale. He absolutely loved singing their songs, and pretty soon, people started telling him he sounded a lot like Yael Yuzon, the famous vocalist from Sponge Cola. Now, that compliment was way more than just praise. It was the spark of confidence he really, really needed. And this is the pivotal moment. He describes singing in the studio one day when, all of a sudden, everything just went quiet. His friends had literally stopped playing their instruments. They were all just staring at him, but in this new way. It was the first time they truly heard him, not just as their quiet friend, but as a real vocalist. Wow. I mean, just let that sink in. This wasn't just about sinning. This was a release. A whole lifetime of being quiet and holding feelings back finally broke open, not as words, but as music. It was this deep, personal breakthrough where all that silence was transformed into sound.
This just illustrates the evolution of his creativity perfectly. As a kid, his imagination came out quietly through drawing comics and building Lego monsters. But as a teenager, that same creative energy found a new channel, a much louder, more emotional one. The medium changed from plastic bricks to sound waves, but that deep need for self-expression was always there.
And that brings us to the final thought. This story is about finding a voice through music, but the theme itself is universal, right? It could be through art, or writing, or sports, or maybe just speaking up in a meeting for the first time. So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. What was the moment you found your voice?